Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well this evening, morning, maybe afternoon, wherever you're located. I am here in Champaign, Urbana, right where the University of Illinois is located, and it's 6 p.m. Central Time here in Illinois. So welcome, everyone. My name is Kate Deering. I am an assistant director within Gies Online Programs. Excited to have everyone here today. I know we have an important basketball game starting up tonight. The University of Illinois is playing Purdue as we speak, I believe. So someone will have to keep us updated on how that's going and what that score is. So go Illini. But welcome. We're excited you're here. If you are here to learn about the iMBA program at Gies Online Programs within the greater University of Illinois, you are in the right place. There is a QR code on your screen. If you're interested in hearing from our admission counselors, go ahead and scan that code and we will reach out to you in the next couple days and make sure you don't have any questions, or we can talk about your goals, figure out which credential is the right fit for you. But while we're kind of letting everybody join here shortly, go ahead and check out this poll on your screen. Let us know where you're located. We always enjoy seeing our learners from all over the world, which is exciting. As I said, I'm here in Champaign, Urbana. My colleague Lori Hayes is in the chat. She's going to help out in the chat in the Q&A feature today. So if you do have questions as we move throughout our time today, try to put those in the Q&A. It's just a little bit easier to facilitate the answers there. Everybody can see the answers. We do also have a special guest here, Manny Morales, and he is one of our student ambassadors. And so we're very excited to have him here. If you do have specific kind of program questions or experience questions for him, go ahead and throw those in the chat in the Q&A as well. He's able to answer those, and then we'll also take some of those at the end during our Q&A. So it looks like we don't have too many global kind of learners here today. If you are unable to answer or access the poll, go ahead and throw in the chat where you're located. Looks like we've got somebody else from Champaign. Awesome. Shakir. Denver, Boston, Salt Lake City, Utah. Excellent. We've got a good group here today. So, okay, let's move on to our agenda before we have some introductions here. But we're going to talk a little bit about an overview of the University of Illinois. We'll talk about the smaller Gies College of Business. And then we'll give you an overview of what we're about here at Gies Online Programs. And then we're going to dive a little bit more specifically into the iMBA program, talk about curriculum, content, how we deliver our information in this virtual environment. Hear lots of feedback from Manny on his experience. And then we'll talk about the application and make sure that you're clear on what the expectations are there. And then we should have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. So, but before we get started, Manny, do you mind introducing yourself so everybody has a little bit of an idea of what your background is, when you started the program, et cetera?
Yeah. So thanks, Kay. I'm Manny Morales. I started the program in the fall of 2022. So I'm about halfway through the program right now. I'll be graduating next year. My background is in healthcare, specifically healthcare analytics, and also just like the health program overall. But I'm in the Washington State, so I'm on the West Coast, in the Pacific time zone. If you're familiar with the Pacific Northwest, I've been here. And I've been in this industry for about close to 15 years. And so, yeah, just excited to chat and a bit more about my experience and share any wisdom I can. Thanks.
Excellent. So we love having our ambassadors here. I can tell you a lot about the specifics of the program, but I really want you to hear about the actual experience from the student's perspective. So thank you so much, Manny, for being here. I think that's going to be really helpful. Okay, so let's just kick it off. I want to first give you just an idea of a quick glimpse at, the amazing things that the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign is known for. Hopefully you have discovered the prestige that Illinois holds as the 13th ranked public university, as well as the many more accolades that we have been awarded. So it was founded in 1867 as one of the original public land grant institutions that was created after President Lincoln signed the Morrill Act back in 1862. I will say the Gies College of Business has really taken this mission to heart within Gies to expand access to learners from all over the globe and make sure that they can access our education at an affordable price. So we take that, and we're very proud of what we've done here in online programs. University of Illinois has 29 Pulitzer Prize winners that has come from it, over 24 million library items that you will actually have, you have access to as a degree student. You'll be able to get your iCard and be able to access all of the library systems online, which I think is kind of a cool benefit as an online student. Lots of R&D dollars have been spent by the University of Illinois. And then it's also rated as the #1 most disability-friendly campus in the US, which I think is really important. And then lastly, you could argue that this is also one of the more important things of why to choose University of Illinois is that you're going to have 500K plus alumni that are going to join you once you graduate. So it's one of the largest alumni organizations, and you'll have that to support you after you graduate. If we take this a step further, the University of Illinois actually has 16 different colleges embedded within the larger university, and Gies Online Programs is within the Gies College of Business. And as I said, we have taken that land grant mission to heart, and we have created these online credentials that are accessible regardless of where you live in the world, at that affordable cost that we've established. So you'll hear, kind of our tagline of democratizing education. We've done that through those two factors, and we've really been able to increase accessible learning to many people who would not have been able to access that. So we've got a lot of accolades here. We've been noted as the #1 business school, innovation of the decade. We were the MBA program of the year among residential and online programs, and then also dean of the year. These were all recent awards. And then lastly, we mentioned the 500K alumni. Within the Gies College of Business, you have almost 80K, 80,000 Gies business alum that will you will join after you graduate as your network. I know we talk a lot with our students, and we often refer to our students, and they refer to themselves as, the Gies family. And they do create lifelong friendships and connections moving forward after they earn their degree. So but I want to take it, let's dig in here a little bit more specifically to the iMBA program and just graduate education in general. And so you should see a poll on your screen. What's been holding you back? We're always curious, it looks like we've got almost 50 people here joining us in this webinar. Why have you not taken this step so far? This kind of helps us know our audience, and kind of helps me know where to focus my information that I'm going to share here in a little bit. So is it cost? Are you nervous about this online format? I know we're going to talk to Manny, and hopefully he'll alleviate any concerns there. And then we'll also hear a lot about how much time you have to put into your studies to be successful as well. Let's see here. So it looks like cost is kind of the leading thing that's holding you back, which is interesting. We're definitely going to break down the cost per credit hour, as well as the overall tuition for the iMBA program. Manny, looking at these, what were you most nervous about before you pursued your degree? Oh, you're muted.
I'm on mute. Oh, yeah, right in line with everybody else. I think cost for sure, I think it's affordability of the program is obviously a big draw. And one of the reasons I really strongly considered it, along with some other programs, And then also the time commitment too, right? The flexibility that the program offers is, I mean, second to none. So I think the time commitment, that helps with the time commitment aspect and balancing of my life as well. So
Okay.
I can talk a little bit more about that later though. Mhm.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we'll definitely cover those two top factors, cost and time commitment, but I'm sure you'll gather information on all of those key points throughout our presentation. But I did want to talk a little bit about just Geese Business Online programs in specific, um, to, why we created this, what we're about here. And it's really built on these three principles here that you see on your screen. Flexibility being really what we hear most from our students as far as what they love about our programs, and a lot of times what drew them to our programs. Because we're really fully online, 100% online. There are no requirements for you to attend campus or attend anything that's outside of the comfort of your own home or your job or wherever you're going to do your studies. So this means no travel requirements. In addition to your already, busy life, all of our students, the majority of them are full-time working professionals. And so they're adding this in addition to, more often than not, 40+ hour work weeks. So it's designed for those types of students. So we're really flexible in, how you're going to access those classes, the times that you can access them, when you're doing your work, things like that. So we also let you design your degree plan, which is really nice. There's a lot of, there's not a lot of, I guess, specific orders that you have to take our courses in. There are a couple, but you're really pretty flexible in how you design your degree plan. And you're also going to be able to take one or two courses each 8-week term, depending on what your preference is, how busy you are. You can start off with one, you can go back and forth. So it's really flexible in that way too. And then lastly, we do have a pretty flexible tuition structure. So we have a pay-as-you-go tuition model. And you only pay for each course that you're registered for. So, Lori, if you don't mind putting the bursar office website in, or the link in the chat, but you can take a look. There's so many options as far as, if your employer's going to reimburse you, are they just directly paying and sponsoring you? There's payment plans. There's a lot of options. And again, the tuition overall is pretty affordable when you compare it against a lot of other MBA programs. So and we'll talk about that here in another second. The middle kind of quality is stackability. And so, part of that land grant mission is making options and stackable steps available to learners, because we really want to have an option for everybody, regardless of where you're at in your learner journey. And so, the next slide will explain all of the different ways that you can start working towards your end goal, whatever that may be. There's a lot of access points for you. And, you know, the last point I want to just make about online by design, which is kind of our third pillar or quality that we've built this program on. And that is, thinking back to 2016 when we launched the online MBA as one of the first online master's degrees that could be delivered in a way to really offer this highly engaging content without giving up any of your career or your family commitments. It was a really novel idea. And I think myself, I wasn't around at that point, but I'm really proud of how we've put together this program and still had a high level of interaction and collaboration that you're going to experience within your programs. And that can be found in your group projects, in your live sessions, and in your interactions with your faculty members as well. So Manny, anything to add to that? I know you mentioned time commitment was kind of the flexibility. Is that the biggest reason, I guess, that you chose Geese for your education?
Yeah, kind of like almost exactly what you mentioned. I have a full-time job. I need to be able to have that work-life balance along with school, and that flexibility to be able to that online format, right? And then I could always, I could always take multiple classes, if I had more free time, just kind of stack up the classes or go a little bit slower if there's a more challenging class, just to kind of based on, basically tailor it around my lifestyle. So that's really the flexibility, obviously, in the online portion, like, it just really helps with that. So yeah.
Have you taken one or two the majority of the time?
Yeah, I've actually been taking one the majority of the time. A couple of the terms I did try to. That was I think that was kind of at my limit at that point. So
Yeah.
so I had to slow down, but I think it's good. It allows me to pace myself, how I want to.
Yeah, I think most people do it like you are on arrive at that kind of 2.5 year timeline to complete the MBA, just kind of going back and forth between the one and the two
Yeah.
courses. So okay, so I told you I was going to tell you a little bit about just the access points. All of the access points that you can start at are these kind of boxes on the right. You don't have to start at the beginning. You can start at different places. But that first small box would be taking a free online free online course on the Coursera platform, which would be a Coursera MOOC or massive open online course. These are the foundational building blocks in our larger like 4 credit courses at Gies. So there's 2 of those built into every 4 credit hour course that we offer in online programs. And so that's a great place to start if you don't know where to start. This is going to give you foundational knowledge in the topic. And then if you enjoy that, then I would say take it a step further to that second access point, which is the dark blue box, which could be just try out a 4-hour 4 credit course that we offer. That could be an iMBA, IMSA, or an IMSM just course that you could take. This is going to give you a really good idea of what what our courses are like, what is the what else do we offer as far as in addition to that MOOC content. You're going to have this high engagement component that is really the meat of the course, I would say. Experience that and see how you interact with your fellow students. How's the faculty kind of facilitating those classes. So another great way to start. Maybe you want to earn a campus graduate certificate, which is 12 credit hours. That's the third cube there on the right. These are really great because you'll basically take 12 credit hours in a specific topic like strategic leadership and management. Maybe it's business analytics or digital marketing is another popular one, and become kind of an expert in that area. And then at a later time, you could decide, oh, I'm actually really interested in earning my full MBA. And those 12 credit hours will stack into the MBA, the full MBA. And in fact, you can stack 2 of those into the MBA. So another great option, you could have that certificate, available to show your employer that you're working towards this end goal, and also learn a lot along the way. So that's a great option. And then that last box is what we're here to talk about today, the iMBA program or our other online master's degrees. The graduates stack into those. In fact, the MSM, which is our Master's of Science and Management, that full degree is stackable into the MBA. So bottom line is there are a lot of options here. And as I said, that QR code at the beginning, we're happy to walk through these options. Sometimes people are confused, like they don't know where to start. And so, talk to us. We're happy to share a little bit about what we think, after we listen to your professional goals and what your background is. There's going to be a right fit for you. And there's definitely options for you as far as where you're going to start. Here's just a little, if you're not quite ready for that master's degree, I know I mentioned the graduate certificates. We currently have 13. These are all offered at we'd have to look and see when they're offered, but they're iMBA, IMSA, and IMSM courses that are offered throughout the 5 terms that we have each year. 12 hours. This is going to be a transcriptable certificate. So you essentially earn a diploma when you finish those 12 credit hours. And then it is, as I said, stackable into the MBA. These are pretty brief application process, and you'll just need your resume, unofficial transcripts, and a brief statement, and English proficiency if you're international, and then we'll get you a decision and get you started. So another great option. But taking us to the Master of Business Administration, here's some quick facts just to start us off. And also I just wanted to talk a little bit about what this MBA is. And the Masters of Business Administration is going to take a much deeper dive into the skills that you're going to need to run an entire business, with management skills, accounting, financial skills. And then you're also going to, focus a lot on learning business theory that's presented, alongside your faculty members that are going to present a lot of current trends and current projects and problems that they see within companies. And then figuring out what the practical application is with those and how you're going to approach those problems. There's a lot of group projects and there is a group projects in every course, which is really nice because you're really going to work with your fellow students on and learn a lot from their specific professional backgrounds too. So we're going to talk about group projects here a little bit more in depth here in a second, but just some quick facts. The MBA program does come in at just under $24K. That's going to include everything, all tuition and fees. And as we said, it is a pay-as-you-go model. So you just pay for the course that you're registered for. There's no lump sum, like you don't have to pay the $24K all at the beginning. So I find that really nice. Someone else doing a little financial planning for me, which is always nice. You can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years actually is a maximum. We recommend taking 2 to 3 years to complete. That's either taking 1 or 2 courses each 8-week term. And then we do have 5 start dates. So really, if you're ready, you can apply anytime and we will get you started the next upcoming term. Manny, can you just talk a little bit about like the makeup of your courses and like the types of students and backgrounds that you've come across like in your group projects and in your live sessions?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I think it's a full spectrum. So I come with a healthcare background, and a lot of the projects and the group coursework and stuff does not specialize in healthcare. So I have people, with team members that are like in finance, that are banking, that are in retail, that are in a whole, all these different industries. And I feel like in those group projects, we're asked to tackle, larger problems specifically. And I think all of that diverse expertise is what helps us, come up with some cool solutions, or be able to solve the problem more efficiently. So I think, all the way from individual contributors to like senior leadership, executive leaders, like senior vice presidents and stuff. So I think there's a lot of people, and there's people with technical background, people with a lot of business background too. And I think it really speaks volume to like the just kind of the breadth of the experience of some of the students in the program.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of my favorite things about the program, I think, because we don't have like a specific, yes, we have some industries that are like more popular, but I think when it comes down to what you're learning in the program and from who, like it's amazing because we do take some steps to create diverse groups. You'll have a group preference form that you fill out before every course that's going to ask you things like, what time zone you're in, what's your background, when do you like to work, things like that. And we do try to make these groups pretty diverse. But yeah, I think this is a great part of our program, and that who you're learning with and from. So okay, let's move on just wanted to give you some numbers that are represented in the MBA program. The average age is 37. 11 years of work experience on average is what our students have. With that being said, we do have a minimum of 3 years of work experience. That is the requirement to be admitted into the MBA program. We are pretty strict with that just because, as we just said, we love our diverse groups. We want to have a lot of rich professional experience that is represented in the projects and in the discussions that you're going to have. And also, if you find yourself on the lower end of the work experience, like say you just have 1.5, 2 years, the MSM is half of the MBA. So we would actually recommend that you start with the Masters of Management, because there is no work experience requirement, first of all, and you're going to be able to build some of those leadership and management skills while you're gaining some more experience. And then at a later time, you can stack that into the MBA program. We do have 50 US states represented and over 100 countries represented in the iMBA program, which is pretty cool. And, 85 Fortune 100 companies represented, as we just said, so many different backgrounds. And the nice thing is you will really get to know your fellow students. Like sometimes you're in the same group projects. Sometimes, I've attended events and these students have become lifelong friends. It's really, really great to watch because you end up spending a lot of time, just in your group project meetings and in your live sessions. You might have breakout sessions, or you will have breakout sessions. So you really do get to know each other, even though it's a virtual environment. Would you agree with that, Manny?
Oh yeah, agreed. I mean, I feel like in the group projects, and I feel like we create our own little network. And on occasion, actually, in this finance class that I'm in right now, I got one of the same team members as I did, a couple like a year ago or something. So like we're reconnecting again, right? So we've already built that rapport, and that just helps. That just builds our team just connection stronger. So just it's really good for relationships.
Very cool. I know the group preference form and like we actually choose groups for you for group projects, but you do have the option for your capstones that we'll talk about. There are 2 capstone projects that are required and you get to choose those groups, correct? Have you done a capstone yet, Manny?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
excuse me. Sorry.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. That
Okay.
so I've done a capstone. Yeah, I actually for the capstone, we there's like a workplace application, kind of an app that we connect through. It's like a social networking app for the Gies College of Business here for this program, and I connected and I found one of my previous coworkers was in the program, and so we reconnected, and I actually we formed a team for one of the capstones, and yeah, and it was really cool.
Very cool. Yeah, so I think you get a little taste of both. Like you can be forced into groups, for some of the group projects, which is real life, but then you also have the freedom to choose who you want to work with on some of your capstones. So, okay, so just a couple kind of, we always like to talk a little bit about return on investment and um, the way that we kind of show that in our iMBA program is really with the satisfaction of our students. 96% of our students are overall satisfied with the program. And then the next 2 statistics, I think, is how we really show direct impact on your career and your job, in that 56% of our students, while they're in the program, actually accept a job offer or a new position, which is pretty cool. And then on average, our students have a 23% increase in their salary, which is a pretty large number. So really great statistics there. Okay, let's just get to the nuts and bolts of the iMBA program as far as the curriculum and content. And so, you will complete 72 credit hours, which is going to be 18 courses. And so, of that 18, 12 will be your core courses. Each of those, let me back up. You actually will complete 6 specializations total. 4 of those are core specializations, and each of those has 3 courses within them. So the core specializations will be strategic leadership and management, managerial economics, value chain management, and then financial management. That's your left side of your screen. And then you have the choice to choose 2 focus areas of the 5 options on the right. This is really nice because, you could take all the courses that we tell you to take, but we want you to have some specific material and learning that pertains to your interest, first of all, and your specific background. So that's where you get to cater your degree to your career. So you can choose global challenges, entrepreneurship, digital marketing, as I said, is very popular. Manny, what are you planning on taking?
So I did the strategic leadership and management, and then I also am doing the business analytics as
Okay.
well.
Do you
Yeah.
know what your other focus area will be yet?
Oh, I think oh yeah, it's entrepreneurship and strategic
Okay.
innovation.
That's
Yep.
actually like of late been our most popular choice.
Yeah.
And a great option too. So yeah, so you get to choose, and you don't have to choose right when you start either. You're gonna have a lot of time to figure out. We recommend starting with like something, a core course, and kind of see what you're doing, navigate all the platforms and everything, and then at a later time you can kind of hone in on what your focus area needs to be. And then we mentioned the 2 capstone projects that you'll have to complete, and you'll do 2 of those on 2 of the 6 specializations that you'll complete. So, and then one other note on the focus areas, if you're not interested in any of those, you can actually make up your own elective path, which is really nice. So you can pick any 3 electives. You just wouldn't be able to do a capstone project on those 3 electives, but that can count as one of your focus areas. And then you would pick one other one from this list. So another great option. And then before you graduate, you do have a program capstone that's going to kind of incorporate everything that you've learned, and you'll do this kind of month-long project where you'll have a professor that you work with, you'll have a group, a group again, and you'll end up presenting, your findings to your peers at the end, but that's kind of the last thing you'll do before you graduate. Just a quick note about the I. This is a question that we often get, the I in iMBA. It is referring really to the method of delivery only. iDegree, originally, we used that to refer to our online MBA because we did have a residential program at that time too. It's stuck, and we really are just referring to the method of delivery there. It won't be noted on your transcript. It will not be on your diploma. You are earning a full Master's of Business Administration from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So don't worry about that. It won't be on your transcripts or your diploma. Okay, so let's touch a little bit on faculty. This is a very important part of our program. We have just amazing faculty at Gies. They're all very approachable, down to earth, very smart. They have a lot of experience in industries and are there to help you learn. We have 74 plus faculty members who teach in online programs. They have 250 plus TAs that support them in the live sessions. Those are often the people that, you'll reach out to just for quick questions and help in those classes. And then, from the Gies side, we have a full teaching and learning team of 55 members that kind of help produce these classes and content that we're delivering. And it, we're always working on new things. So that's a great big team. When I think about the number of live sessions that we put on each week, we do over 40 right now, and that's in studios here at the business facility. And we actually have 6 state-of-the-art studios here. And we are currently building a new business facility with 7 new studios. So that'll be really fun. We'll do some mock live sessions from there, I'm sure, for prospective learners, which is always fun. But yeah, so lots of videos created for the live sessions, and really just excellent faculty members. Manny, so far, I know you haven't taken too many classes, but who's been your favorite faculty member so far?
So I think, man, there's a lot
Hard
of
to
them.
say, hard to say, right?
Yeah, hard to say. There's a lot of them. I think the leadership and teams course, I think that's one of the first ones that I took, and Professor Luckman was there, and Professor Keating and Professor Lloyd as well. They were just amazing. I think I come from a technical background, and I think at that point I was really looking for some kind of more well-rounded leadership skills, and man, they hit all the points that I needed, basically all the skills that I wanted to develop. So they've been my favorite. They were super engaging.
They are great. We actually are doing, if anybody's interested, in April, we'll have April 30th, I think, a mock class with Professor Keating and Luckman. And so if you want to check out a class and see, we kind of do these mock live sessions where we can mimic a little bit of what a live session is like with the breakout sessions and just kind of a little bit more simple session, but it does give you an idea of how we interact in those live sessions. And Lori, if you don't mind putting the events page, that should be up on our website, and you could actually register today. So one of our other awesome professors is Professor Hayden Noel, and I'm going to just show you a quick video just to give you a taste of what, if I can get my screen to work here, of what a live session is like. Go ahead and watch this.
Hello and welcome from wherever in the world you are. One thing you'll know by now is realize You are not going to be able to just sit back. Got excited.
Absolutely.
I do not believe in exams. It will be a collaborative event, something you do over time with others. And that's what we do in this class. I want you to put up your hands and tell me 2 associations from the case.
Tradition comes to mind.
Associated with a working man.
Also inexpensive and very accessible.
End my classes by saying, all of you, go out in the world and be successful.
So hopefully that gives you a little taste. You know, he sends his students off with that kind of ending comment. Some of our professors sing a song to open their classes. Like, they're all different, which I think is neat. You know, every course is going to be different. So anyways, we always just like to share a little bit of what our classes are like. So okay, let's get back to what makes up our courses. So I just wanted to share this next slide. And Manny, I'm kind of hoping that you'll be able to explain this in your own words, but the way that we've designed the courses, there's an asynchronous component in every course, and then there's a high engagement component. And they work really well together, and also helps, you know, this is where a lot of the flexibility comes in, I think, because you can do some of this ahead of time, you can do it on your own time, but then there is also those live sessions that we encourage you to attend. You're going to have those group projects, you're going to have faculty office hours. All of those things are included in the high engagement component, which is in the right-hand side. So that part is going to build on the asynchronous component, and that is found on the Coursera platform. So remember that first kind of building block or access point that you can start with, that's on the Coursera platform, and we have 2 specific MOOCs that are included in every 4 credit hour course. So if you wanted, you could take all of the MOOCs, get it, or at least some of them, and get an idea of what our content is like. Those are going to be pre-recorded videos, some self-assessed quizzes. There's some peer evaluations to just make sure and to they kind of check your learning in those modules. But yeah, you'll do all of that on your own. And then the high engagement component, as I said, is going to have the live weekly sessions that are 90 minutes long. Within those, you'll have a breakout session or 2, maybe 3, where you'll be discussing, you know, a current project or problem, or maybe just a question from your professor, and maybe you bring your findings back to the larger group, and they'll call on you. Manny, can you just, in your words, what's a live session like?
Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, kind of what you said. So you cover the topics for that week, you know, based on what's in the Coursera platform, like what's the learning lesson there. And then you know, the students that actually go to the live sessions really want to be engaged, right? They're there to learn from the professors, and you break out in dependent, you know, the professors, they give you some brainstorming, you know, some questions for the group to brainstorm, and they break you out in groups of, you know, let's say 3 to 4 people, and you know, you tackle a question, you discuss a certain problem, and then you come back and you have a chance to share, you know, your learnings with the rest of the class. And it's I initially I thought, I was like, man, nobody's gonna want to share, but man, so many people want to share and want to engage, and I think that's been the biggest surprise. You know, it's just the engagement there is just it surpasses my expectations. Mm-hmm.
That's good to know. I think one thing that the reason for that is that our students are very, like, think about it, they have on average of 11 years of work experience. They're dedicated, and they are here for the right reasons, and they want to impact their careers, and they want to learn something new that they'll be able to use, and most of the time immediately. So I think that's part of the reason that there is such good, you know, high engagement and feedback and you know, participation. And that's what I do love about our students, because everybody is here for the right reasons too. So okay, so that's kind of what makes up a course. So if you have questions about that, we could talk about this further, but throw those in the Q&A, or if you have any comments, throw those in the chat. but we can flush that out here a little bit more. But I do want to make sure that we talk about networking. I know it's 6:39, and I also want to allow some time for Q&A at the end. But networking is very important, and I do want to spend a moment here to talk a little bit about all of the different ways that we network. This is a question that a lot of people come to us, like, your program's online, you're on a screen. How am I going to get to know students in the program? How are we going to interact? Is that even possible? Manny, what would you say to somebody who asks that? And I guess, how have you networked so far?
Yeah, so I have not networked on the Gies-led opportunities, mostly on the student-led, and I think group work, that's our number one, right? It's embedded into the program, right? Every day, every class we have a group assigned. That's number one. And second is workplace, the app, it's kind of like a Facebook app type of thing, social media app. And I think that's the other one, where I'm in a group in the Pacific, where I live in the Pacific Northwest with folks around my area. And there's a lot of, kind of like it says, student-led meetups. Like we pick out a place and we go meet up, and I can meet people that are in my area, like kind of part of the Gies family in my neck of the woods. So I think that I've used that, and and then from that, what I've found is that I've met up with people that maybe want to learn more about healthcare, or maybe in my case, I want to expand my knowledge and connect with somebody from a different industry, and somebody that that is local to me, and we've connected on LinkedIn and shared job opportunities when that comes up, if that's what you want. So really, it's kind of choose your own adventure. You'll have to do the legwork though on that one.
I agree with that. I think, yeah, you get what you put into it, and you'll get that out. But I think our students are really amazing at creating those student-led meetups. I'm always thrilled to see all the pictures on social media, on LinkedIn, workplace, of just creating these homegrown networks. In fact, our students are, they just bond, even though, like, if you go, perfect story, one of our students flew into South Africa and he had a day to kind of kill. He actually ended up putting out on Workplace, who does anybody live here? And another iMBA student picked him up at the airport, drove around, gave him a whole tour, dropped him off at his hotel, later in the day, but really made a connection there. And it wouldn't have happened, unless they had been connected through the MBA program. So we hear stories like that all the time, and they're really neat. Couple other things just on the screen. I think, workplace, yes, that's an amazing opportunity for you to connect with your fellow students. It is a kind of a social media group just for you. It's very student-led. There's job searching. There's, just fun posts, a lot of graduation posts reflecting on their experience. And really mostly students helping students, I think, helping with resume help, or, my friend lost his job. Does anybody have connections here? Like, things like that happen quite often on Workplace. We also have the iGBA, which is a student-led organization that really kind of facilitates feedback and between the leadership team and administrative team and the students. And then they also put on a lot of really cool events for the students, a lot of engagement, kind of engagement events that they'll participate, or I guess set up and facilitate. But for the Gies-led opportunities, I wanted to share a little bit about what we do. Immersions are something that we offer about 4 times a year. These are week-long projects that you'll apply to, and there's also an extra cost, but really great experience if you have the opportunity to do one of these. If you do one, it would count as one of your capstone projects. This example is from our Seattle immersion I think this might have been a 1.5 to 2 years ago, but we just did one in Mexico City, Houston. We had one. They're domestic and international, and you'll have the choice, but really cool opportunity to work with a company on a project. You'll meet with various stakeholders. You'll do some cultural events while you're there. Here they went to the Seahawks Stadium. They did a boat tour on Lake Union in Seattle. So just lots of really fun opportunities. And then it ends in a kind of a case competition where you're presenting your ideas on what you've learned, and and your solution to the project or the problem. And a lot of times the company is going to take your solutions and implement those. So it's a really rewarding experience. I think I've heard it can be a little stressful on that last day, but everybody's always really relieved and just so happy to have had that experience. This summer, we're going to Malaysia and Singapore, as well as South Africa. So very exciting. iConverge, this is our annual kickoff event every fall that we invite all of our online students and alumni to campus. Over 500 students came. I mean, people come from all over the world. It's really neat. One person actually flew into Chicago, drove down here from Dubai, and spent 2 days and flew back. Like, I was like, I cannot believe that you did that whole turnaround. But yeah, a large group from Singapore came. And actually this picture on the right is the entire group out in front of the State Farm Center. We always try to get a group photo. So here's a couple of pictures of workplace. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but lots of ideas are shared, success stories, things like that. In fact, that middle picture just kind of speaks a little bit to where you can access your live sessions. This person was doing it on vacation on a beach. Pretty amazing that you can join class and not get behind on vacation. So okay, lastly, student meetups. I know Manny said he's done a lot of that out west, but these happen all over the world, even in South Africa, Tokyo, Qatar. So, you know, it's not just a domestic thing. Students get together wherever they're at. Okay, 646, we got to keep moving. Student academic success team. We do have a full advising team that is available to you. We are not going to just throw you in and make you design your whole degree plan on your own. If you want, you can check with the advising team, have them help you tweak your plan. You can also meet with them just to figure out what focus area you should pick, talk about the faculty members, all these kinds of things. They are available to you through all of these options on your screen. All right, we've made it to the application, and I don't want to get in the weeds here with the application, but tell me what is really making you nervous about the application. If you haven't started filling it out yet, which part? The resume, personal statement, recommendations, gathering your unofficial transcripts. Hopefully I will be able to alleviate some of your concerns with some of these. Because it really should, I do think our application is pretty straightforward. It should not be a huge time suck for you. Let's see what everybody is thinking here. Uh-oh, what happened to our responses? Here we go. Okay, personal statement and recommendations. Looks okay. Recommendations, we can alleviate a lot of concerns there, because that is really not going to be difficult for you. Listing work experience, that's another one, pretty simple and straightforward. So let's dive in here now that I have an idea of kind of what everybody's concerned about. We'll touch on those for sure. Here's the application requirements, and this is going to be pretty straightforward. And again, if you have any specific questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help. We do require the resume. Just keep that simple, 1 to 2 pages. Education, work experience. We do require a bachelor's degree. So we will need your unofficial transcripts from any degree that you've earned, including that bachelor's degree. If you are an international student, make sure you include all of those mark sheets as well as the degree certificate. Oftentimes they're not all included on the same document, as well as English translations. If you have any questions about that, please reach out. That part can be a little confusing. We do have one 500-word academic statement, and then there's a couple required short answer personal statements that are 250 words. And then there's a couple optional ones for space for you to add anything that you didn't feel like you covered in your application. Maybe you had a gap in your work experience. Maybe you had, a low GPA, things like that. You can add into those optional statements. Okay, recommendations. I want you to know that this is not a huge ask for your recommenders. We just require the name and email for the application. What happens then is that we will actually email them a form to fill out. It has 8 to 10 questions, that they are ranking strongly agree to strongly disagree. And then it has, I think it's 2, maybe 3 short answer kind of paragraph form feedback questions. Should not take them a lot of time. They can also upload a letter if they prefer. I, however, think this form would probably be much easier and less time consuming. They both hold the same weight, but if they do want to add in that letter, that's great too. But just let them know. We'll send them the form. It should not take them long. It's not a huge lift. Maybe send them your resume so that they have that to work off of. And just let them know, like, it's a pretty simple form. We do like at least one manager, supervisor, either current or a previous one as one of your recommenders. That's always nice. So yeah, try not to stress over the recommendations. English proficiency, we do require. We'll throw in the chat what those rules are and those requirements. Talk to us. There's a lot of nuances there. We can help you out there. No GRE or GMAT. And then scholarships. I know that scholarships are a question that a lot of people have. We actually have 2 for the iMBA program. So we have the Coursera scholarship, which Manny actually you're a Coursera recipient, right? This reimburses 70% of the tuition. You will apply with your program application. So that is the only time that we will accept your application. So if you're looking to apply for a scholarship this fall, it is due by May 2nd. So try and make that deadline. You will find the application, you'll write an essay that is within your program application. This is going to, I'm just going to see what, this is going to focus really on your need for financial assistance in order to pursue the program, or how you've demonstrated a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion via your mentorship in your community and your involvement there. So that's kind of what it's focusing on. Very small group, pretty competitive scholarship. And then we also have one scholarship per term for a female that is awarded the Forte Fellowship Scholarship. This reimburses $20,000 of the tuition. And this, we're looking for women who have exemplary leadership, very diverse background, and those that demonstrate a commitment to advancing women in business. So pretty straightforward there. Lastly, performance-based admissions track. If you find yourself with we do have a minimum GPA requirement of 3.0. There's options. And one of those options is the performance-based admissions track. So say you come in at like a 2.5, 2.7, and you have a lot of rich professional work experience. Your resume looks great, but you don't quite meet that GPA. Maybe you have a huge gap in your work experience. This is a great option where you apply through the same path. If admitted into this, you would be admitted as a non-degree student. You take 3 courses that are required courses. And then if you earn a B or better in at least 2 of the 3, we automatically admit you into the degree program. So an amazing opportunity for someone who maybe if we had a hard cutoff, you might not quite meet. This is a great option for you. We will consider you for all options. So if you don't know, like say you have a 2.9 and you're not sure, you can apply either way. We will consider you for both. And we always try to find the best fit based on, our application review, our interview, and we'll try to make sure that we find the spot that you're going to be most successful in. So if there's any questions on that, we can answer those here in a moment. I know it's 6:53, so let's just finish up here. Application review, give us 2 to 3 weeks. We do turn our applications around pretty quickly and stay in touch with you. So if you don't hear from us, please reach out. Little things happen sometimes and emails get missed. So if you don't hear from us in a week or 2, reach out to us and we'll take a look at your application and make sure everything's right. Okay, so next deadline coming up April 4th. This is to start in May. So, I would encourage you to get off the fence and start now. I know like a lot of students that we have on these webinars always, we ask them, what would you do different? And it's a lot of times I wish I would have just done it sooner. You can put it off forever, but a lot of times there really is not going to be an easy time to take on this huge challenge. Did you put it off at all, Manny?
Yeah, I did for years, right?
I see you nodding.
Yeah, for years. I think, yeah, that's exactly, I just I'm never going to know if I don't try. And I think the pay as you go made it a lot easier too. So I just did a mock session. I like that. And I was like, let's go for it. And I'm glad I did because I'm almost done. So.
Yes, awesome. If you're not ready for summer though, I get it. Things come up. We do have that fall start. Those applications are open as well. That would be a May 2nd deadline. And again, if you're interested in that scholarship, apply by May 2nd. That is the final deadline for fall to apply and be eligible for that scholarship. Okay, last slide. Why Gies? Hopefully you've learned a little bit, maybe something new about our programs. I know that we talked a lot about flexibility, how affordable our programs are, and what I love about our programs is the innovative way that we deliver information. You know, it's still so interactive. You're going to be collaborating on every week in the program. There's so many ways that you can network, and I think this is just a great benefit of our program as well. So many reasons to join Gies. I know you have a lot of options, and hopefully we showed and shared some new reasons that you could be interested in and why Gies might be right for you. So let's see here. So lastly, hopefully you learned something. Let me know, how did we do today? And if you don't put one of those light green ones, go ahead and throw your feedback in the chat, or what questions do you still have? If we didn't answer all your questions, then I want to make sure that you walk away with those answers. So I'm going to stop sharing here. Look, mostly green. So this is good news. Excellent. Here's that QR code once again, and then let's pause. And what questions do we have for Manny? I'm going to check out the Q&A. Let's see. Okay, so Lori, I am very behind in the chat. Has there been any themes in the Q&A in the chat?
Definitely some themes on English proficiency test requirements, and I'm going to put that link in the chat right now.
Okay.
And exemptions, there were a lot of questions on that. And then scholarship, looks like there's a couple in the Q&A about the criteria for scholarship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So scholarships, Manny, what's been your experience with the scholarship? I know you applied. Do you want to offer any kind of insight there?
Yeah, I think when you go into the application, you'll be able to see the question for the scholarship. And I think, it's very specific on, what they're looking for specifically, like speaking to your background and, mentorship and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think, just offering up, your own life experience there and, your experience in the community, right? In the community and your organization, how you support that. Mm-hmm.
I think that's great feedback. I think we read a lot of scholarship essays, so it is important to stand out, and we do want to see specifically, like Manny said, what things have you done? Why is this applicable to you, and why we should award you that scholarship? We do look at, it is also based on academic integrity. We're going to holistically look at your whole application, and then we have that essay in addition to that. So that's how we make our decisions. English proficiency, yes. Lori's going to go ahead and put that in the chat. If you're an international student, there are 3 exemptions that are pretty, a lot of people will fit. And if you click on the link that Lori shares, if you've lived in the US for at least 2 years within the past 5 years and worked, you would be exempt. If you attended an English university within the last 5 years, either post-grad or grad, in an English speaking country and within the last 5 years, you could be exempt. There's a few exemptions, and we can walk you through those. Certain countries, like I'll go ahead and put the link to, you can check your country to see if it's actually a requirement. So there's some countries that don't require the proficiency tests, and you can check your country here. I'll just put that in the chat. So that's another good resource as well. So, okay, what other questions? Let's see.
Deadlines. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Deadline for October. I can look those up. I don't know those off the top
Yep,
of
that'll
my
be
head.
the first Thursday in September. So I think it's
Okay.
September 6th, I want to say, but maybe confirm that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could start in October. If you apply for fall, you basically can start in August, October, or October. You can indicate what you would like. If you change your mind, that's totally fine. After we've admitted you, we'll just update your application and you don't have to do anything different. So if you're interested in general in the fall, just pick one. And then as you near, registration and get closer to the start of classes, we can kind of fine tune that. Okay, rankings, great question. So someone's asking why we're not ranked. We made a conscious decision several years back because we didn't feel like the things that they were basing the rankings on were not indicating of a successful student and what we thought that and what students we thought would be successful in our program. We are not looking at GRE or GMAT scores. When you think about it, the majority of our students haven't taken that test. That test would have been, 10 plus years ago for a lot of our students, straight out of college, undergrad. So we just think that we are going to look at different things. We're going to look at your academic history. We're going to look at your work experience and how rich that is. Your statement. We're going to look at all of those things as opposed to just a few, specific numbers that we might not consider super important. So that's why we don't participate in rankings. We haven't, and, we're still getting chosen, for a lot of these awards from Poets and Quants. And, we've got the top faculty in accounting here. A lot of other things that we've decided to focus on instead of rankings. So. What are the required courses for this program that are available on Coursera? Okay, Manny, were there any prerequisites for the MBA program?
No, not specific courses. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so no prerequisites. You can go ahead and take a lot of the MOOCs, audit them for free on Coursera if you'd like. Actually, Lori can put in the chat. We have a link that you can actually look at every single MOOC that's included in all of our online courses. One note on that, so this is a common question. If you've taken a Coursera course, will you earn transcript credit? So the answer is a little complex, and you still have to take that high engagement component. You still have to be admitted into our degree plan or a degree program, or be admitted into taking a non-degree course, because you're going to have that high engagement component in addition to that Coursera component. If you've taken a Coursera course and you earned your certificate, so you can pay that subscription monthly fee, earn that certificate. It's a digital, you can share that digitally, which is really nice. Once you're admitted into one of our programs, we actually do link up your Coursera account with our Canvas account, which is what we have all of our course curriculum and all the projects and all, how your professor will communicate with you. We will link those up and it will recognize any certificates that you've earned. So you'll earn a completion credit is what I like to call it, but you're not going to have transcript credit from those Coursera MOOCs. But a lot of students work ahead on the Coursera component. I've heard, they do that part the week before, and then the live weekly session is kind of looking back, at the Coursera component that they just did while they continue to do the next module. Manny, how do you do it? I know everybody has a different strategy with how they work in the Coursera component and the live sessions and the high engagement component.
So I try to do it every week, right? I do the Coursera component. It's like my textbook, to get prepared.
Same
And that's
time, you do them
way I
both at the
keep
same
up.
time. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
heard that. I've heard people do the Coursera the week before and then like keep working. You'll find your own way, and everybody's different. And so I think, after that first course, you'll see what works really well for you. And you also have, your students to ask the other students, how they've done it. And if there's a better way, you'll learn that as you go. So. Okay, any other questions? Looks like we've got most questions answered. Any parting words, Manny? Any advice for all of our guests here today, or anything you've done you would do different? Or
Yeah, I think obviously start sooner, but I think just going for it. I think there's low risk, high reward here, and I think the mock session for sure. I recommend that to get a sense for what it's like, and then just apply. I think, go through the process, and you'll find out real quick, if you like it. And obviously you can see the results on there, like a lot of good satisfaction from the students. So high satisfaction.
Great advice. So, okay, so we are gonna kind of wrap up here. One last question. I see for Manny, what does a typical week look like? That's actually a great question. We didn't touch on that. Can you walk us through like Monday through Sunday, I guess, like how the course works?
Yeah. So typically we go. We have a module assigned to us every week, like a specific topic in the course. So we have we have a high engagement, like an actual Zoom meeting, like an actual online, Zoom meeting to discuss a topic. And then we also have a Coursera module that's associated to that topic. So typically what I do is on Saturday or Sunday on the weekend, I finish my Coursera component, like, a few days in advance. And then I go into the high engagement, like the Zoom meeting with the professors, in the middle of the week at some point. And that way I'm prepared for the conversation. And throughout that time, I'm finishing the Coursera and then some of the assignments and group projects and stuff like that as well.
So Tuesday is always a big day, right?
Yeah.
You turn everything in on Tuesday night and everybody takes a deep breath and excellent. Well, thank you for that explanation. I'm going to go ahead and find the registration link real quick for the next mock class. It may not, we only show the next month on the website. So I'm just going to make sure you guys have that. And then we're going to wrap up here. Let me just, there it is. Okay. All right, here is that link in case you're interested. Thanks everybody for attending today, taking a step in researching and hopefully learning a little bit about Gies Online programs. Manny, super great to have you. Thank you for all the great feedback. You're always welcome. Manny, as I said, if you become one of our students, I would love to have you in the ambassador program. Like Manny, we always love working with our students. And as you can see today, they really offer a lot more than just me explaining, things about our program. So thanks, Lori, in the chat. And I hope everyone has a great evening. Anybody have an update on the score for the Purdue Illinois game? I forgot to ask. Hopefully we are winning and we'll be able to catch here. We should be finishing off the first half. So
we're winning 40-34. It's
all right.
yeah,
40-34. Okay, so close game, but we're winning.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Everybody go check it out and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.